Oh, not too much stuff left in there. Not too much left in there either. And not too much in there. And I'm only down to 1 case of ramen and some bread. Guess I need to go shopping. So, usually I only go shopping once a month. This time around, I'm going to actually just get enough food for 2 weeks. Because holidays are coming up. I don't know when I'm going to my folks' house. And I don't know how many goodies they're going to send back. Plus, I mean, a whole month's worth of food. And my fiance is going to be coming home later. And she's going to be bringing a bunch of stuff. So we probably won't have the room for it in the freezer. So, my monthly budget for food is only about $80. Yeah, that's not a lot. But you know what? It's possible to live on it. Divided into weeks, that means about 20 bucks a week. So I'm going to try and get by on 40 bucks worth of food. I'll honestly admit, my diet's not perfect. And yes, there's going to be something below me or somewhere around my head if you're asking that question about me. Or you can just PM me and I'll explain it to you. But that goes out to my regular viewers. So, what do I buy when I go out to the store? How can I live on 40 bucks for 2 weeks or 80 bucks a month? I focus on staples. In fact, I've been working for the last couple of months on a cookbook based on what I eat from the recipes I've developed. Each recipe, each section of my cookbook is based on staples. So obviously there would be a section about potatoes because those are cheap and efficient, but you can do a lot of stuff with it. I have a section on chicken. I have a section on ramen. You know, it's not that hard. It takes a little bit of thinking. It takes a little bit of preparing, and you got to be willing to make sacrifices. Like, you can't buy the 4 chicken breasts in a package because that's like what, 6-8 bucks, and that's only 4 portions, maybe 8 portions of chicken at most, and no variety. But if you get a whole bird and hack it up yourself, looking at my really crude stick drawings, you can get the minimum of 4 portions of chicken out of one bird, up to 7 depending on how you use it. What else? Not to mention there's a lot of stuff you can do with chicken with just a couple of spices, or adding some garlic, or adding just like some different things to pour over it and let the chicken sit in. You can get a lot of different flavors out of it. You can go everywhere from Italian to Asian to American barbecue, which is just simple, with just adding a couple of simple spices or doing different things to it. And not to mention, you can fry chicken, you can bake chicken, you can boil chicken, you can kebab chicken if you happen to be able to grill. And potatoes, you can do a shit ton of things with them. Boil them, bake them, roast them, cover them in spices. Ramen noodles, you can do a shit ton of things with that too. Okay, maybe not a shit ton of things, but just think, be creative, and you can do quite a bit of stuff. And what else rounds out my shopping list? Which, if you're going to be shopping on the cheap, never go to a grocery store hungry, and never go to a grocery store without your shopping list, and majorly stick to your shopping list. On my shopping list is ramen, potatoes, bread, butter, cheese, chicken, frozen veggies, baking soda, milk, raisins, Kool-Aid, potato flakes, coffee, and garlic. Those are some of the basic things that are on my list monthly, or whenever I actually go out shopping. And then there are also things that I only get like once every couple of months, like condiments and hot cocoa. Yes, I realize that's a bit of a luxury, but what can I say? I like it. As well as different spices. And I mean, living without luxury, that's kind of unheard of in the United States today, because most people can go to their fridge and there's food, or you can spend a couple of bucks and go down to McDonald's or something. And I'm not saying that I don't live completely frugally, I don't, but I live within my means. I live slightly under my means just so I can have a little bit tucked away just in case. And I think that that's part of the reason that we have run into the economic problems that we have, is that people were living well beyond their means, and not seeing and not understanding that, okay, you know what? Yeah, I could spend $100 on a big fancy meal at some fancy restaurant, and I could pay for it later with my credit card. Or you could go to like a family style place and you could get a decent filling meal that tastes pretty good for less than half that price. And it would still be as good, and you would either not be in debt for that $100 meal, or you could have a little bit extra to sock away for a rainy day. So maybe you could take that vacation next summer, or you could take your significant other out for a special thing later on, or you could save up for that bicycle you wanted, or that solar panel, who knows. And also, by living within your means, technically you're living greener, because you're not going out and spending, number one, your hard-earned green, or whatever color your country's money is. But I mean, it leads to less waste. I realize that if I used rice instead of ramen, I would be wasting a whole lot less, because one rice wrapper versus 24 ramen noodle wrappers is a whole lot better for the environment. The rice wrapper versus the ramen wrapper, not to mention, is gluten friendly. But what can I say? I don't like rice that much. So yeah, those are just some basics to living cheap, and I will post another video about this, but this is my intro to living cheap. It's not that hard, and yeah, you know what, I go without some stuff, and it's really a benefit to add a multivitamin to your diet if you are going to be living on the cheaper side. But I mean, in this economy, there's a lot of people who can't really afford to go much more than $80 per person. It sucks, but it's what you gotta live with these days for some people. And I also wanted to make this video because some of the other living cheaply videos I thought were total crap. So peace out.